Hey, Decluttering Club. Today I want to share with you what I'm calling the Birdbath principle to making decluttering easier. Now, what the heck am I talking about? What is the Birdbath principle? Well, this is an idea that I came up with to explain to you how you can actually have more enjoyment from those special things that you are holding on to when you look at them in this new way. All right, this is a new way that I want to encourage you to think about your things. And I promise you, this will actually increase your love and the memories and all of those reasons that we hang on to things. Right? That's why we hang on to so many things, is because we're like, I cannot let this go. This is so important to me. This is super important to me. This, belonged to my grandmother, or this reminds me of my honeymoon 30 years ago, or this is, my kids' baby shoes, whatever it is, right? We hang on to things because we say, I can't let this go because it reminds me of XYZ, right? And this is perfectly valid, of course, but it causes some problems for us. So I want you to think about things in a new and different way. So I'm going to explain that to you. I just want to make sure, these little things keep popping up here. I just want to make sure that my sound is good. We have people in the house. Yes, fantastic. Okay, so good to have you all here. So you may have been following me on Instagram and also here on Facebook in my stories. I have this amazing garden in my backyard. We had this garden planted last year and I love it. And it's so awesome. And it's a little parched right now because it's been super dry, but I still love it. And one of the things I have in my garden is a bird bath. Right? I have this bird bath, and I kind of got the idea last year. I was like, I really want a bird bath, and I wasn't even really sure why. I was like, I really think that would be a nice addition to the backyard, right? So I went to, I kind of came across this really interesting shop. They had all kinds of different sculpture and garden ornaments and all kinds of really fun things. And I picked out a bird bath that I loved and I brought it home. And so it's been in my garden ever since. And I was thinking about it. I was actually cleaning out the bird bath this past weekend. I was like, why is it that I love this bird bath so much? Like, what is going on with the bird bath? There's something going on there. Why is this so important to me? And then I remembered that when I was like 8 years old, probably 8 or 9 years old, I used to go and spend a week, a month maybe, with my grandparents in Michigan. And they had a bird bath in their backyard. And one of my jobs was, like, every couple days, the bird bath kind of got a little grimy. Right? So you take the bird bath and you would scrub it out, you'd rinse it out, you'd get rid of all the gunk, and you'd fill it with fresh, clean water. And so that was my job. As an 8-year-old, that was like my job to do when I was visiting them. And that's what I did. And I have not thought about that for 40 years. Like, I'm telling you, that hasn't even entered my mind. But I was thinking about that as I was cleaning out my bird bath the other day. And I was like, oh, that's what's going on here. That is super interesting. When I am looking at enjoying, cleaning my bird bath, I'm remembering what was going on for me when I was 8 years old. And that is why it is so special. I remember my grandfather was like, it's really important for the birds because, they may not have a really accessible source of water, and this is nice and clean and fresh. And like it was kind of a big deal, right? And so that's why this bird bath is super important to me, because it reminds me of my grandfather. Right? And I was like, oh my gosh, now I get it. And I'm getting a little choked up just telling you about it, but this is why that's so important to me. But the thing is, this is not my grandparents' bird bath, right? I don't even know what that bird bath looked like. I have no clue. I don't think mine is concrete. I don't think his was, I have no idea. I don't know what it looked like. I just know that it was a bird bath. But it doesn't matter, because I think bird bath, I think garden, I've got it nailed. I've got it covered. And it takes me back in time. And I can remember the grass and the sun, and I can remember like the chain link fence, because they had a chain link fence. They had this little tiny yard, this little like cookie cutter house in Michigan. I remember all of it. Like I am instantly transported, like, everything, the bees buzzing around, all of it, butterflies. So I am transported back there when I am even like either thinking about my bird bath or taking care of it, right? Or just noticing it in my garden. And this is so powerful, right? This changes everything, I think, for us when we are thinking, I can't get rid of that thing because, right? So like I have this pot here. I brought this pot. And I just want to check in. We're good with the comments? Yes. Okay, good. So good to have you guys here. So if like this is my bird bath, let's say this is the original, and I'm thinking I cannot get rid of this. I have to keep this. The only way that I can enjoy that memory is if I'm holding this thing in my hands. I have to look at it, I have to touch it, I have to pick it up, I have to smell it. Right? Now I'm limited. If I need this thing, I am limited in how much I can experience this memory. It's only available to me when I'm in the presence of this object, right? And if I'm doing something else, or, God forbid this breaks, right? Or let's say I can't find it. If my house is very cluttered, I can't find it. It's buried under something, or somebody takes it and uses it for something else, or who knows what. Now I'm out of luck, because I think that this is the thing that makes it possible for me to experience these memories. But this is not true. This is actually totally false. I do not need this thing. This thing may make it a little easier. This thing may trigger the memory for me, but also like I'm like cut loose if I don't need this. And I'm like, oh, anytime I see, any bird bath, or I think about a bird bath, or I go find my bird bath, I have so many more possibilities to enjoy this memory because I'm thinking about it, right? And I'm realizing it's not the thing that is causing the memory, it's what I'm thinking about. That is the whole key here. And I think this is so powerful for us. Right. So again, I want to call this the bird bath principle. I want you all to remember, if you're trying to, if you want to, let's say, call up a certain memory, I want you to be like, oh, it's like the bird bath principle. I'm going to put the bird bath principle to work here. So how can you do this? Like, how could this work for you? Because you might be like, well, I don't really care about bird baths, right? Like, what does this have to do with me? Okay, let me tell you. Here's how you can use this. First of all, think of something that you are super attached to. Maybe it is, let's say something from your wedding, right? So maybe it's like the bouquet or the shoes. I know we had a discussion in our membership the other day about she said, I have my wedding shoes, right? And I'm not going to wear them. There's really I can't even imagine wearing them, but I have them. So now what do I do with them, right? So something that you are super attached to. It could be something that you see every day, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's something that's packed away, something that you could never imagine letting go of, right? So think of that thing. And then you want to generalize. What is that thing, right? So it's not necessarily like my wedding shoes, but it is a pair of white shoes, or it's a pair of fancy shoes. It's not, let's say, baby clothes that you have saved for 40 years from one of your kids, right? So it's not this baby sweater, it's any baby sweater, right? So you want to generalize. What is the thing that you're thinking of? And then let's generalize, let's kind of zoom out a little bit and just describe this in general terms, right? And now you get to practice. So practice whenever you see the item in question, right? Fancy shoes or a baby sweater. Whenever you're walking through Target and you see pretty white shoes with sparkles on them, you could be like, oh, those are just like my wedding shoes. Oh my gosh, how about that? Or if, I don't know, if it's some memorabilia from college, maybe anytime you hear your college mentioned, or, you see someone that has a sweatshirt in that color, right? Maybe the school colors, and it's like a particular shade of maroon. You could be like, oh yeah, that's a memory of XYZ. I remember I used to whatever, right? And now all of a sudden, all of those memories are available to you, no matter where you are, no matter what you have with you, no matter what you were thinking about 3 seconds ago, it's all available to you and it can all come back. Right? And I want you to even, like, if you're practicing this on purpose, I want you to make it really vivid, right? So don't just think, oh yeah, that's those are the school colors. Like, that's cool. But, if you're calling up memories of college, like, where was your favorite place in college? Where did you go to study? Was it the library? Did it smell like a little dusty? Did you have to whisper? What were the tables and chairs like? Just like call up all your senses. The touch, the smell, what did you see? What was the lighting like? What was that whole sensory experience like for you? And call that all up. And just practice that, right? This is something that we can practice over time. And if you practice it, now you can get good at it. Now you can get better at it. And what you will discover is that, yes, the item in question, you may still be attached to it, right? Nothing wrong with that, but you don't need it anymore. It's not required for you to enjoy that memory, right? Because that is, again, getting back to why do we hang on to things that we aren't really using, right? Things that have those special memories, we hang on to them because I need this to call up that memory. And that's not usually true, right? Again, this is an aid, but it's not true that you need it, especially if you're practicing calling up that memory, at will, wherever you are. Could be like trying to fall asleep at night and just practice all of that, right? So what I love about this is it really expands our capacity, right? It makes it so we are not limited, right? We want to hang on to things because we love those memories. Those are the important things. I heard a podcast the other day that said, when we look at any item, right, whatever it is, like I have this goofy coaster here. This is one of my kids, a picture of one of my kids. When I see this, I do not see a coaster. I do not even see a picture of one of my kids. I see, oh, that's my son, and he was 9 years old, and he's got that button-down shirt, and we were actually on a family trip. That's what I see. I do not see a coaster. I see meaning, right? We do not see objects. We see meaning when we look at things. And so, of course, we think we need the objects to get the meaning, but we can actually just shortcut. We can just jump right to the meaning if we want to, which is so powerful, isn't it? Oh, it's so exciting. So let's see, I have some more notes here. So our enjoyment is no longer limited, right, to being in the presence of that thing. And that's so valuable, right? Let's say you need to downsize. Let's say you're going from 4 bedrooms to a 1-bedroom condo. You cannot take it all with you. And if you think I need these things, or I'm like getting rid of my kids' childhood, or I'm getting rid of my loved ones who have gone on, who have passed away, I need these things and I'm moving, I'm downsizing, and so I'm getting rid of them. I can't bring them with me. If you think that, it's gonna be freaking hard. You're not gonna wanna do that. Whereas if you know, okay, I love this thing, this is special to me, but also I can still enjoy the memory regardless of whether I have this thing or not. This thing is going to break. This thing is going to get lost. This thing is going to be too big to take to the condo when we downsize. And so if we know this, then we can have alternatives, right? And we can have these memories still available to us. And it's so valuable, right? And that's so powerful. We can take up less space, right? We have more space available. We have less responsibility in our home to take care of our things, because we could just kind of jump right to the memory without needing the thing. So this is really, really powerful. Again, the Birdbath principle, right? I want you to name it like that. And whenever you think, oh, I could never get rid of that, just think Birdbath. How can I use that idea? If I do want to get rid of this thing, sometimes we want to get rid of something and also we want to keep it, right? If you just want to get rid of it and you're not attached to it, it's not hard. We just gotta let it go. We just, we donate it, or maybe it goes in the trash, whatever, and we move on. We're on our way. But so often we have both desires, right? We know we want to let go of something. Either it's just not in good shape, like maybe it's broken, right? And so we're like, why am I keeping these broken pieces? Or maybe you are downsizing, or for some other reason, you have this desire to let go, but you also have the desire to keep. right? So now you're in trouble because you've got two competing desires and they're in direct opposition to each other. So what do? Well, you could use the Birdbath principle and see if you can practice that and start conjuring up those memories whenever you want. Very, very powerful. Okay, I'm going to be putting together a worksheet for those of you in our membership. So if you're in the membership, keep your eye up for that. That'll come out next week on the Birdbath principle. If you are not in our membership, we have a wait list. We're going to be opening to new members in a couple weeks, so you're going to want to get on that wait list. If you struggle with this kind of stuff, we have resources to help you. We have so much, and our community is a wonderful support, especially if you are very sentimental, if you have ADHD, if you really are just super overwhelmed with your house. You're going to want to get on the wait list and check out membership and see what that's all about. All right, so that is the Birdbath principle. Tell all your friends. It can be super fun. And let me know if you practice this. I would love to find out. All right, that's what I have for you today, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you later.